It's a Saturday morning and you wake up, ready for what's to come. You get out of bed, take some cereal, pour the milk in and grab a spoon. You have a dazzling feeling of what you're going to do, you're excited to watch that favourite series, and your heart pumps faster, and you pour down that breakfast down your throat. As you insert the disc for the 10th time this month in the DVD player or VHS tape, you still love this show, despite the many times you've seen it, despite knowing what's going to happen at every step of the way. You can't stop but watch and admire this series. Or maybe it's the middle of the day, the middle of the night, eating snacks by yourself or with family members, but one thing is for sure. You can't stop but admire and appreciate AcceleRacers. So many people around the world still love AcceleRacers. Despite the fact that it's been nearly 2 decades, people still talk about this series like it was just released yesterday. Although there are those that don't think AcceleRacers is a masterpiece, failing to see the depth, symbolisms, themes and hidden details, the majority of people do. But why do people still talk about it? Why do people still love this series? People may say it's nostalgia, but that implies that the series was only good because you experienced it when you were a kid. But upon watching this series as a teenager and now as an adult, it isn't nostalgia. Sure, the series was awesome while we were watching as kids, but our brains weren't fully developed nor wired. Most of us never stopped and realized nor thought about that there were core themes, that our characters were actually deeper than we thought, until we grew up. As children, we were blind to many things, such as character arcs, symbolisms, and even Tesla's motivation for the AcceleRacers, until suddenly we got older and things clicked. And that's the beauty of growing up. We start to realize, we start to experience things differently than we were kids, and that's why this series was better than I thought. Before, I would just think AcceleRacers was cool because of the characters, cars, and the action, but this series is now a masterpiece because of the character arcs, themes, and symbolisms. And that's why so many screenwriters fail today, because they have actions but no character depth, because they don't know how to write characters but they know how to write action. Each character has some depth and likability, some reason to do what they do, some explanation for their array of actions and why they do what they do. But that's not the only reason why it's loved or why it's great. I think it's because we feel the efforts. We feel that the creators were trying to create something and not make it for the sake of making it. For the sake of sales, for the sake of selling more products, they were trying to put meaning in their work, much like music artists, paint artists, and many other people do. And that's what I think many people fail to realize, is that movies are art. Movies are a combination of different pieces of art to create something else, and that's what sets the movies apart from anything else. They use imagery, music, in combination with many of these themes and symbolisms which can be implemented in so many various ways, and the creators do that. They surpass our expectations and something more. This series could have very well been generic. This series could have just been an advertisement for a new product line, but it wasn't. Even if that was the case, we wouldn't be surprised, but they created AcceleRacers to be what it is today. And I think that's what Mattel is missing. They created products and shows to sell more toys instead of creating universes on their own to expand upon for creativity and to actually mean something. They were afraid of AcceleRacers being that brand, that they would have to stick to AcceleRacers for their products, for the main line of profits with no expansion of anything else. AcceleRacers was made for the products, which is why they cancelled it in the end, because people believed there would be no wriggle room to create something else, because Mattel and Hot Wheels would be known for AcceleRacers. But people don't care, meaning if your product is good enough, people will like it anyway, just like we like AcceleRacers. If what you create is good and has meaning, then people will like it, just like we love AcceleRacers. If you have things that people like, you can create products out of it. You shouldn't be making things for the product, you should make things to have meaning. And Mattel thought that AcceleRacers would close them off when it was their intent and product line that did. Not only does the CGI hold up today comparable to many other shows, but it actually means something. Maybe it teaches us that things aren't so black and white. And the show is dark. We have Kadeem transformed, mutilated into a cyborg, which no one was expecting. Yet it's not so dark that children can't watch it, yet not so bright that it loses that appeal to the adult audience. Maybe the show teaches us that people are people and there are reasons for why they act the way they do, seen through talk and knowledge, through their whole rivalry being put aside to unite for the same cause. It's the development of the characters and the earned character arcs that show the detail and effort that the creators did, making the characters three-dimensional and actual humans, relatable humans, humans that we actually like. That's what makes them likable. Maybe they actually have meaning, and that's why we like them and would buy their products, because we like them, because we like the series, not because of Ugh. AcceleRacers had so much more to give, so much more potential, so much more to discover, and yet it was left abandoned by Mattel, rotting in space, just like how Hi-Res abandons all of their games. Just think if AcceleRacers hadn't been cancelled, we would have gotten more closure, more exploration of characters, more silences, more transforming cars. Instead, we get more products bought from nostalgia. Anyway, that's why I think Mattel cancelled AcceleRacers and why everyone loves AcceleRacers.